Alright, hello class. So today I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try to make this video when we are actually in class. Hopefully you can see me okay. Today we are going to be talking about logic propositions and truth value tables. Alright, so this is a continuation lesson of what we were talking about. We introduced the idea of logic and what it is, and now we want to go into the idea of a proposition. So what is a proposition? It makes a claim, either an assertion or a denial, that may be either true or false, and must have the structure of a complete sentence. So it is a complete sentence, and it's either stating something that is true or it's stating something that is false. It doesn't matter, we don't know either way. However, it is making a complete statement and within a complete sentence. So thinking about that, on your next slide, and you're following along in your PDF, hopefully, I give you some examples, and I want you to identify if you believe that these are propositional statements. So Joan is sitting in the chair. Joan is sitting in this chair is a complete sentence. It's making an assertion. Whether that's true or false, I'm not sure, but it is a complete statement. So that would be an example of a proposition. I did not take the pen. Again, it's a complete sentence, and it would be a proposition because it's making an assertion. Whether that is true or false doesn't really matter, but you are making that complete sentence. Are you going to the store? Now, this will not be a proposition, and think about why. Is it making an assertion or a denial? Not really. It's making a question. It's asking you something. It hasn't claimed something that could be either true or false. It's just asking a regular question. So that would not be a valid example for a proposition. 3 miles south of here. What? That's not a sentence. You haven't told me anything. I have no idea. Are you making an assertion? Are you making a denial? Are you telling me? I don't know. That's not even a sentence. There's no period. There's no capital letter at the beginning. No, not a proposition. 7 plus 9 equals 2. Now, is that a true statement? No, but do we care if it's a true or false statement? No, it doesn't matter. It can be read as a complete sentence. This is written in symbolic notation, so it does represent a complete statement. This would be an example of a proposition. And I know that's a little weird, but we have to remember we talked about multiple representations. We have to, in our minds, think about those multiple representations and be able to write that, I guess, verbally. From symbolic to a verbal or complete sentence. The negation of something. If I'm going to negate something, it means I'm going to take the opposite of something. I'm going to do the opposite of whatever I'm talking about. So if we're talking about it's sunny outside, the negation of it being sunny is that it is raining. If we're talking about it's hot outside, the negation of it being hot outside is that it is cold outside. Well, it's no different in math. When I talk about a negation, it is just the opposite of a proposition. So I've made this assertion, I made this denial, I made this claim to you, and now I'm going to negate that claim. So it means I'm going to go against what I just said, and I'm claiming the opposite of whatever I just said. So in our last example, we had one of our statements was Joan is sitting in the chair. That was a proposition. It was a complete sentence. I was making an assertion. She is sitting in the chair. What would be the negation of that statement? Think about that for a second. Well, if I'm saying that Joan is sitting in the chair, then the negation is going to be the opposite. So Joan is not sitting in the chair. And it's as simple as that. Definitely not anything too difficult. Double negations is when it gets a little more trickier because you are double negating something. So have you ever heard of one of those people, or heard somebody say, I can't not go to the store? I can't not. You did a double negative there, right? So what do double negatives do? They cancel each other out and they take you back to the original statement. Again, no different in logic. So a negation of a negated statement is a double negation. And it just brings you back to whatever you said. So if I say, Joan is sitting in the chair, the negation is Joan is not sitting in the chair. The double negation is Joan is not sitting in the chair. Now that sounds weird. We don't really normally say things like that, but I had not. And those nots, they cancel each other out, and that's definitely a double negation.